Well, so with this, I welcome Mr. Sunil to the session, our expert of the day. So he will be first, going through the whole is, the PPT. After the PPT, he will be taking the questions and answer. Ensure that you don't leave this session. You stay in this session till the end and get your doubts clarified. Okay. And if you are leaving this session in between, then you may not get the certificate. Please stay the full session to get the certificate. And after the session, we'll be telling about the certificate and the good news, we have a very special offer for all of you who wish to pursue your career into data science. We'll be telling you about that also. So please enjoy the session and stay till the end. Mr. Sunil, welcome to the session, and the session is yours.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Himanshu. Thank you for the introduction. So, am I guys audible?
You are audible. You are audible.
Yeah. So, can everyone see the screen? Hello. Hello.
Yeah, it's
Can you
visible.
guys? Yeah, it's visible, right? So, yeah, guys. Good evening. I am Sunil Kumar. I have been working as a certified data scientist. I have worked in IBM and in Analytics Pro, both in Bangalore and Hyderabad. I have been certified as a data scientist by IABAC. It's an international certification accreditation by US. So, guys, yeah, moving with the workshop further. So, how many of you felt annoyed with the interaction? I mean, Siddhant had interacted with you, right? So he asked different questions related to your educational background. How many of you are attending the webinar for the first time? How many of you are repeating and all? So just raise your hand. How many of you felt annoyed? किस किस को थोड़ा अजीब सा लगा? Okay, only 10. Okay, okay. Yeah, most of you felt annoyed, right? So here, the reason behind this is we are actually organizing a data science workshop, right? So we have to understand our participants, right? So previously we used to deal with different professionals. So taking a webinar for professionals and taking a webinar for students will be completely different because we have to maintain the standards as per the requirement. So that's the main reason he just interacted with you to know the educational background and all, so that we can give you better understanding based on your background. So guys, moving further with the content. So today we will be discussing with the most famous one, which is the traditional programming, which is currently in use from many years, right? From the beginning of the industrialization from the 1930s, 1940s. So there are traditional programmings, algorithms and all. And what exactly is machine learning? And the next part will be the common terminologies in this particular field. So you will be coming across most of the fields, I mean, most of the terminologies and names which are related to this particular field. Some might be completely new, and some terminologies are as old. Okay. And the crucial part of the webinar will be the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, as well as deep learning. And moving further, we will also look on to the data analytics part, data science, as well as big data. And one of the heart of data science, which is machine, right? So how exactly a machine learns. And the final part, which will be the applications of data science in real life. Okay. So yeah, this will be the content for the workshop today. So after completing all the content, we'll be moving to the question answer sessions. So you can shoot all your questions related to this particular domain, and I'll be answering them accordingly. So, uh, sorry. So yeah, moving further, let me first ask you something. So when I say the word artificial intelligence, right? So what exactly comes to your mind? What image do you imagine? So can you just shoot your answers in the chat in just one word? So what comes to your mind when I say artificial intelligence? Okay, so okay. So robots, Alexa. So Alexa is an application. Okay, machine. So mobile. Yeah, iPhone Siri, autopilot, self-learning, Industry 4.0. Okay, so yeah, so most of you are imagining. I mean, so whenever you heard about artificial intelligence, you are thinking about a robot, right? So I guess the robot might be from the movie Robo 2.0. So are you imagining Rajnikant while you hear about artificial intelligence? So I don't. So I mean, what I mean to say is that I don't say that that's wrong, completely wrong. So yes, to some extent, when you talk about artificial intelligence, so robots are a part of artificial intelligence. We can agree, but we are not completely into that particular artificial intelligence. Okay, so and coming to the industrial point of view, right? So when we talk about artificial intelligence, it's not completely about a robot or something, what we say, an application. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, so when a machine can take its own decision, right? So when a machine can take its own decision, that's nothing but artificial intelligence. Okay, so just think about a human. So as how we are taking our decisions in real life, so we are taking decisions. So if you want to choose a better career option, or if you want to pick something which is good or bad, so you are taking your own decision based on your past experiences, based on the suggestions by your family members, friends and all, right? So you are taking your own decision. And when the same thing is done by a machine, so here machine is nothing but, I mean, so don't think about a robot. Machine is a computer or a controlling chip. We can say microcontroller, microprocessor. When a machine is taking its own decision, okay, by itself, that is nothing but artificial intelligence. So can you guys give any real life examples in which you have came across AI? Yeah, you can just shoot the answers in the chat. So let it be an interactive session. Okay, so I don't want it to be a one-way session. So just shoot your answers in the chat. So just give me the answer which you think is AI, which you have been, yeah, Google Assistants, Siri, Alexa. Okay. So yeah, these are all the applications of artificial intelligence, which comes under data science. Online exam surveillance, yes, that can be, yeah, Cortana, Glens, yeah, Alexa. Yes. So you people are using YouTube, right? You people are watching movies on Netflix. You people are watching series on Amazon Prime, Netflix. So don't you think AI is there over there? Yes. So when you say, let's say if you are watching a particular movie on Netflix, right? So after completing the movie, if you open Netflix for the second time or the third time, you can see a few of the movies which are recommended to you based on the watch history. So that's AI, right? So there is an application which is trying to understand your perception. So okay, this person he likes horror genre, or this person he likes comedy genre. Let me recommend these particular movies to him, right? So the machine is thinking that okay, are you are into comedy genre, so it will be suggesting you movies related to that particular genre, right? So we have been using artificial intelligence from long back, but we don't realize that. So uh, you can see your friend recommendations from Facebook to, before, I mean, let's say if you are searching something on Google search bar, right? So before even completing your question, Google comes up with the suggestions, right? So that's also an application of AI, which comes under natural language processing. We'll be discussing that further. So yeah, so when you talk about artificial intelligence, right? So it's not always a robot. So when a machine can takes its own decision by itself, right? So that comes under artificial intelligence. So I guess you guys are clear with this term. So moving further with the terminologies which you will be coming across in data science. So yeah, right now we discussed with respect to artificial intelligence, right? So moving further, the second term will be your machine learning. So here, what exactly is happening in this particular terminology, machine learning? So imagine as a student, how exactly we are learning. So we people are learning. So we'll be watching different videos, content related to our academics. We'll be reading, we'll be writing. So these are our way of learning, right? So when you talk about a machine, so how a machine will learn. So it doesn't have any sensors, right? It's not a human actually. How can a machine learn? So here, in order to make you understand this machine learning, let me give you one example. Okay. So just imagine you have a kid. Okay. So just give him 100 different photos of animals. Let's just imagine a 5 to 6 years old kid and show him hundreds of images of different animals. And you just tell him that, okay, this is exactly a tiger, this is lion, this is zebra, this is elephant. So just show him different images of different animals and tell him that these are the wild animals which we have. Okay. So after that, take that particular kid to a zoo, and you can see he will automatically recognize what exactly the particular animal is. He can easily classify whether that particular animal is a lion or a tiger, right? He How exactly he learned? He learned from the images. So he looked at the image of that particular animal, as we said that okay, this is lion, this is an elephant, right? So here those particular images are data. Okay. And the output which you are giving, this is a lion, this is an elephant, or a giraffe, tiger. So these are your answers, and those are your data. And the kid is the machine. You're getting right. So imagine the kid as a machine, and those images which you are giving with the name, let's say the animal name representing to the machine. So here the machine will understand those particular images, and then when you will be giving a new image to that particular machine, the machine can easily classify whether that, I mean, what kind of animal it is. So that's how a machine learns. A machine will learn through data. So if we are giving good data, we will be getting good results. If we are giving bad data, we will be getting bad results, right? So that's what is machine learning, right? So when a machine learns from data, okay. So here we'll be discussing more about machine learning in the further slides as well. Okay, so don't, so just stay till the end. And moving further with the other terminology, which is deep learning. So when we talk about deep learning, right? So here this is nothing but you might have heard about neural networks, right? So deep learning is also a what we say a subset of artificial intelligence. Okay, but here the learning prospects of deep learning will be as similar as humans. So if we talk about human brain, we have different neurons, right? In our brain, we have some millions and millions of neurons which are in our brain. In the similar way, when we talk about deep learning, the machine will have, we will be creating different neurons, artificial neurons at the time of programming. Okay. And when we will be giving the data to that particular machine, so the data will be given to each and every neuron in that particular program. And that's how the machine will learn. Okay. In respect to deep learning, here the structural format will be mostly like a human brain. Okay. So it's when we talk about machine learning and deep learning, both are subjects of artificial intelligence. Okay, which will be coming under data science. And the rest of the common terminologies are your data analytics, data science, and big data. So data analytics, it's, I mean, using the statistical methods to analyze data, I mean, which is currently in use from the past 2-3 decades. Okay. And coming to data science. Okay. So when we talk about data science, let's first discuss what exactly is data. So yeah, can you guys say what exactly is data? So I know most of you people are from different backgrounds. CSE, I have seen people from ECE, CSE. I have seen people from mathematics, BSc, agriculture, electrical. Okay. Set of information, collection of information, raw data. So yeah, can you give some examples of data? Packets of information, that's too technical. Facts and statistics. Okay. Okay. So any examples? Okay. Digital signal. Okay. Come on. I have 280 people attending the webinar. So I at least expect 10 of you to give some right answers. Analog and digital signals. Okay. Email. So I want general. Give me some general data examples. Okay. Information, Google. So yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, Excel sheet. So yeah, that's one thing. Okay, address, information about employees. Okay. So yeah, coming to data science and discussing with respect to data. So when we talk about data, right? Data is nothing but information. So an information which is shared in different formats. Let's say if the data is, I'm sure you people have basic idea of different types of data. Generally, data is of two different types. One is structured data and the second one is unstructured data. So structured data is nothing but the data which has a definite structure. So if you are aware with Excel sheets, okay, the data which is represented in terms of rows and columns is nothing but your structured data. And the data which is, what we say, which is unstructured, I mean, which doesn't have any definite shape. So can you give the examples of unstructured data? CSC people. CSC people, can you give some examples of unstructured data? Give some examples, day to day, real life examples. You people are too technical actually. So give some generic ones, general examples. Yeah, audio, media. Yes. Yeah. So when we talk about unstructured data, right? So it doesn't have any definite structure. So unstructured data, it comes under, I mean, well, let's say if you have different images, you have videos, you have audio files. Okay, you will be having data which is represented in text format, right? Your comments in Facebook, your, what we say, your posts on Facebook and Instagram, your tweets on Twitter. So each and everything is data which is unstructured. So when we talk about data science, right, as a scientist, people have to analyze data irrespective of its structure, whether it is structured or unstructured. You have to analyze the data. Okay. So this is what the data here we are dealing with. And coming to science, so here we will be using different scientific methods, tools, and techniques in order to understand this particular data. Okay, on the whole, this is what we say basic definition of data science. Okay, so analyzing data irrespective of its, what we say, structure, using scientific methods, tools, techniques, and all in order to find insights. Okay, and coming to big data, it will be a similar kind of data analytics and data science, but in a larger way. Okay, we'll be discussing about big data in the last section. Okay, so yeah, moving further, hope you guys are clear up to this with respect to the terminologies and all. Okay. And right now we can see we have a booming, what we say, all across the globe, there is a complete boom in this particular industry, which is data science. Why there is this particular boom in this industry? I mean, let's say in this particular domain of data science. So can anyone tell me, I mean, why there is the huge requirement of data scientists across the globe? Okay. So let me explain in short. Okay, so let me be totally frank. So you might have remembered, right? So in the year 2015 or before that, 2015, 2016, and before that, so we used to recharge our mobile phones using 100 rupees and 149 rupees just for 1 or 2 GB of data for a complete month, right? I mean, I'm talking about 2015, 2016, and before that. We used to have 2G and hardly we used to have 3G. And during those particular days, we used to pay 99 rupees, we used to pay 149 rupees or 200 rupees just to get 1 GB, 2 GB of data. And that too, we'll be using it for one complete month, right? But when Jio came into Indian market, right, he started giving 1 GB per day for free, absolutely for one complete year, right? So people started using high speed internet and that too for free, and that too 1 GB per day for free. So people started using it more and more. The more internet we are using, the more and more data is being generated, right? So if we talk about, I mean, considering only Geo network, currently Geo is having 330 plus million users in India. Okay, so just imagine if each and everyone is using 1 GB per day. Okay, so we are generating 330 million GB of data. Okay, and now consider Airtel. Airtel is also having 300 plus million users and taking an average 300 million GB of data. So considering only 600 million people in India, we are producing one single day 600 million GB of data. And now imagine globally. So internet is everywhere. People are using internet from day-to-day life, high-speed internet without any, what we say, distractions, right? So there is data in each and every field. Each and everything which we are doing using internet will produce some amount of data, right? So as the internet usage is being, what we say, internet usage is being at an alarming rate, being used at an alarming rate, the data which is being generated is also is at high, right? What exactly is happening? So that we are producing millions and millions of gigabits of data per day, but the data is being stored in remote servers or cloud servers. We need people in order to understand this particular data so that they can take some new business decisions. They can launch new products. So it can be useful in many ways. So that is why there is a huge gap in this particular, what we say, data generation and the people who are I mean, analyzing that particular data. So this particular gap between these two created, I mean, what we say, I mean, the requirement for this particular domain, data science. Okay. So yeah, moving further, as we discussed, when we talk about artificial intelligence, any machine trying to imitate a human task or any machine that can take its own decision by itself, right? That is nothing but artificial intelligence. Okay. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, so artificial intelligence is generally of two different, what we say, types. One is your artificial intelligence, which is your general artificial intelligence, and the other one is narrow artificial intelligence. So when we talk about general artificial intelligence, when a machine can do whatever a human can do. Okay. So if a particular machine is doing everything what a human can do, I mean, just imagine the robot which you have seen in the robot 2.0, which can do each and everything which a human can do. And more than that, that is artificial general intelligence, or we can say true artificial intelligence. Okay. And when we talk about narrow artificial intelligence, that is nothing but when a machine can do a specific task. Let's say if you ask Alexa, Alexa, play me this song. So Alexa will be playing that particular song, a specific task. And you cannot ask Alexa, can you please drive my car? So Alexa can't do. It's AI, but it can't do, right? So it is specific to only few particular, what do we say, mm, tasks. Okay. So this is the, I mean, what we say, these are the two different, what we say, general differentiation between this artificial general intelligence and narrow intelligence. Okay. So as we discussed previously, reasons for sudden growth in artificial intelligence and data science. So the first thing is, I mean, modern processors. So let's say if you are having high-end mobile phones, right? So initially we used to have mobile phones with hardly 1 GB of RAM and normal processor, normal GPU processor. But current day mobile phones are having high-end processors, octa-core, hexa-core. Okay, and also the uses. Okay, so not just with mobile phones, all the devices which we are using, electronic gadgets, if we talk about them, computers, if we talk about smart televisions, if we talk about laptops, mobile phones, tablets, smart gadgets, let's say your smartwatch and all. So they are having this modern processors. As the processors are modern, they work very fast. As they are fast, they consume high amount of data. As they are consuming high amount of data, they will be producing high amount of data. And the second important thing is the cheaper storage. Okay, so before cloud storage, people usually have, I mean, what we say, if we talk about the what we say, tech gains in software industry, if we talk about Facebook, if we talk about Google, Microsoft, Apple, so they used to have data centers in different parts of the world. Okay, so that's where most of the data has is being stored. But after what we say, after some time being changes, right? So the data has been shifted to cloud. Okay, so you can easily store any amount of data in cloud, right? So even if you talk about your Google Drive, Google initially started giving 50 GB of data. I mean, what we say, cloud space. So in the similar way, there are uh, what do we say, many cloud storage, what we say, companies. So they are giving the storage completely for free of 5 GB, 10 GB, 50 GB. Okay, some companies, they will be charging some amounts of data for the cloud space. Let's say if we talk about Amazon cloud, Amazon web services and all. Okay, but mostly they will be, what we say, the storage of the data will be completely free. So as there is a cheaper storage, right, and we have high-end processors, so the data consumption is more and more, and also the generation of data is also more. And distributed computing. So this is nothing but, let's say if we talk about a network of computers. Okay, so network of computers which are distributed parallelly. Okay, so if we talk about big data, right? So in big data, so by the name itself, you might have the idea, right? So the data must be enormously big. So in order to analyze heavy amounts of data, there will be a, what we say, distributed computers which will be analyzing the data parallelly. Okay, so this also has created the boom for this, one of the reason to created the boom in data science, and more commercial data sets which are available. So if you talk about commercial data sets, so data set is nothing but, let's say if you talk about a weather, so you can see, you can find free data available on website. I'll say if you search in Google, right, free data sets, there are multiple websites which can give you data sets from different backgrounds. Okay, so let's say you can get data sets from automobile, industries. You can get data from e-commerce, you can get data from weather, you can get data from social media, medical data set. So most of the companies are giving their data sets for free, and you can absolutely, what we say, get them on Google or internet for completely free, and you can use them. So so one of the better way of this is that most of the companies, they will try to, what we say, establish, or they will try to have a hackathon kind of sessions, right? So people across the world, they will try to register for these particular hackathons, and the company, they will be providing their personal data in that particular hackathon. Okay, so it will try to get the best results from that hackathon. So people will try to analyze the data, and they will be giving the insights from that particular data, right? So the end result of that hackathon will be, okay, the company got the insights what are required from the data itself. So in this particular way, I mean, there is the boom. And also the one of the crucial part of data science or artificial intelligence or data analytics, or even if you talk about big data, is the visualization. So what exactly is visualization? So if we talk about data, so if we talk about data, right? So let's say if you are having an Excel sheet with 100 different customers. Okay, so you can easily get to know each and every customer and his behavior, his purchase history, and everything. Okay, so you can easily go because you only have 100 customers. Let's say if you are having 1 million customers. So can you easily understand your 1 million customers? You have to go each and every row, each and every column in order to understand. So do you think, is it possible practically to understand 1 million customers? So it's not even possible, right? Even if it is possible, it will take some years to understand them, right? So visualization is one of the crucial part of data science. So visualization is nothing but visualizing the data in a graphical way. So it might be anything. It might be your, let's say, what we what are the basic graphs? Histograms, pie charts. Okay, you have bar charts, scatter plots. Okay, area plots. So there are different types of, what we say, graphical ways in order to understand your data. So this is one of the interesting part of data science, irrespective of the domain you are working with. So if you have whatever may be the size of the data, you can easily understand your data through different visualizations. Okay, so you can even make a career just in this particular visualization part. You don't need to learn machine learning, AI. You don't need to collect data and all. You can just get into this particular part. You might have heard about Tableau developer, business intelligence. So these are few of the job roles which are only specified to this particular visualization. Their primary job is to analyze and visualize the data and give some insights. So they has to be good in storytelling. Okay, I mean, whatever the data which these particular people are working, right, I mean, working with, they has to present the data in a way like a story. Okay, so it should be interesting. So in that particular way, you can make only a career in this particular visualization sector as well. And the other thing, reason for this particular boom is open source communities. So open source, if we talk about, so open source communities are nothing but the people who can easily contribute to this particular uh, technology or a service or a application. Let's say if we talk about Python, so Python is completely an open source, right? So you don't need to pay anything if you are using Python. So if you are having new applications or new methods or classes which you are creating, you can easily submit those particular, what we say, things to the community. So they will integrate your, what we say, your research or something in that particular application. Okay, so in, because of these few, let's say, we have very few reasons, I mean, there is a boom for this particular data science all across the globe. And yeah, coming to the crucial part of the webinar, which is the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Okay, so I have given some basic, what we say, information related to these terms previously, but let's see over here. So just imagine artificial intelligence as a broader way. Okay. So under artificial intelligence, we get machine learning, okay, which will be using the concepts of artificial intelligence. Okay. And under machine learning, you will be getting deep learning. Okay. So if you talk about AI machine, okay. So machine learning will be a subset of artificial intelligence. I mean, sorry, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. And when we talk about deep learning, it is a subset of both artificial intelligence as well as machine learning. Okay. So I guess few people raised their hands. So yeah. So do you have any, I mean, do you have anything to say? So some people raised their hands. Okay, so yeah, previously, so why AI can't solve CAPTCHA? Data science is useful for, okay, guys. So yeah, moving further. So discussing with respect to artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Okay. So what we say, there is actually no standard definition or no industrial definition of AI yet. Okay. Since we haven't reached to that particular stage, okay, we don't have any true AI. Okay. So you have seen Tesla cars are having artificial intelligence. They can drive by themselves, but there are some aspects which those particular, what we say, Tesla cars can't perform. If we talk about Alexa and Siri, they can do and perform different tasks, but they cannot do each and everything what a human can do. Okay. So we are not completely into a true artificial intelligence world. Okay. But if we talk about the most widely accepted definition, so when a machine is trying to imitate, okay, any task that a human can do, okay, so here what exactly happens? So if the machine is doing that thing by itself, okay, so which means it doesn't need to be programmed again and again because it already learned that particular thing. Okay, so that's how it will be useful for us. So let me just give you a basic example in order to get this particular idea. So let's say you are working as a teacher in a particular school or university. Okay, so let's say you have three different classes in which you have conducted exams, and each of the class have 50 students each. So in total, you have 150 students, and you are having 150 students marks in your hand, and you have to mark them whether those particular student, I mean, he had qualified the exam or failed in the exam, right? So in general, what the teacher has to do, so she has to, what we say, she has to go through the results and she has to check whether that particular marks are greater than 35. So if the marks are greater than 35, right, so the teacher can mark the person as qualifying the exam, and if the marks are less than 35, so she will be marking him as fail, right? So now you have 150 student marks in your hand, and you know the reason, so if it is greater than 35 or less than 35. So now just imagine you have a program. Okay, you have a program and you are gave that particular results. So out of 150 students, you are only marking 100, let's say you have only marked 100 students results whether they have passed or failed. So you have an old data of 100 students with marks with the results, pass or fail, and you have 50 students without the result, whether they are passed or failed. So now give the 100 students data to the machine. Okay, so the machine will try to understand how exactly the student got the result, whether passed or failed. So the machine will try to understand by itself, okay, whether, I mean, okay, so he got 58, he got 35, so he got 58, he got a qualifying mark. Okay, he got 34, he got failed. So the machine will try to understand the reasons. Okay, so how exactly those marks are given, and it will try to understand its own rules. And when you give the new set of 50 students data, the machine will automatically give the results, whether he has qualified the exam or disqualified the exam or failed in the exam. So that's how the machine will learn. So you don't need to repeat this process again and again, because the machine already learned this thing. So whenever you give new data, the machine will automatically give you the result. Okay, so that's how the machine learning will help. I mean, the machine learning is helping in this particular day-to-day life in many aspects. So whenever so machines are being trained on data, on the previous data, and whenever there is a new data coming, so the data will be given to the machine, and the machine will be giving you the results. So everything will be done instantly. Okay. So yeah, these are some of the terms which comes under machine learning and artificial intelligence, if we talk about. So when we talk about machine learning, so you have four different concepts coming under machine learning. One is supervised learning, and the second one will be unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, and deep learning. So I'll be just explaining all these things in short. So when you talk about supervised learning, right? Supervised learning, just understand the term supervised learning. Let's say if the machine is learning, okay. So here when we talk about these four terms, right? Supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, and deep learning, which are coming under machine learning, right? So here when you talk about supervised machine learning, right? Okay. If the machine is learning with respect to some examples, okay, which are already predefined. Let's say you want to learn something. Let's say you want to learn, let's say, data science. Okay. So if you are learning data science through a particular mentor or a trainer, okay, so you have a trainer or a mentor who is already, I mean, into the data science field, and you are learning data science uh, with the help of that particular trainer. So that is nothing but your supervised learning. Okay, so you are giving the machine data along with answers. Okay, so that is nothing but supervised learning. So you are giving the data and you are giving the answers related to the data, and the machine will try to learn the reasons. Okay, that will be coming under supervised learning. Let's say if you talk about unsupervised learning, you will be only having data, but you have to find your answers. You don't have any answers. Or let's say uh, unsupervised learning, learning by yourself. Okay, so you will be only having questions, you will be only having data. You have to find the relation between what, let's say, uh, in between the data. So you will not have any answers here. So that will be coming under unsupervised learning. And coming to reinforcement learning, it's like what we say, trial and error case. Okay. So if we move further here, if you see reinforcement learning, it will be like trial and error. Uh, how exactly we can explain this? Let's say you have a puppy in your house, and it's just 5 to 6 months old, and let's say if it is biting you, so whenever the puppy is biting you, you just give a, what we say, tap on its back. After some time you can see it will stop biting you, because the puppy understood that, okay, if I am biting this particular person, he is tapping me on my back. So we did not teach that particular, what we say, puppy. So it understood by itself that, okay, if I am doing this, he is doing this to me, right? So that's how the machine will learn on this trial and error case. So whenever, I mean, a machine is doing this trial and error case, okay, so that will be coming under your reinforcement learning. And the last part is your deep learning, as we discussed, which is with respect to your neural networks. I mean, just like imitating the human brain structure, learning through different neurons, neurological structures, okay, artificial neural network, convolutional neural networks. Okay, so these will be coming under your deep learning. And if we talk about the other subsets of AI, we have reasoning, we have natural language processing, we have planning. So reasoning and planning, so these are the general terms. Okay, you might have idea about this reasoning and planning in your day-to-day life as well. And when we talk about the third term, which is your natural language processing, so what exactly is natural language processing? Okay, so let's say when we talk about a human or a machine, so let's say if we talk about a human, right? So the human can understand different languages. Okay, so you might understand English language, you might understand Odia, you might understand Hindi. There are some thousands of languages across the globe. Okay, so in which people communicate. But how can a human and a machine communicate, right? So the machine doesn't have any ears like humans, right? It cannot understand our language. So when we want a machine to understand a human's language or the natural language, okay, so that will be coming under your natural language processing. Okay, so it is the ability to train computers to understand both the written text and human speech. So if you talk about Google Voice Assistants or iPhone Siri, right? So if you are speaking anything in English, it can easily understand, right? So you might have heard about the terms speech to text, text to speech. So if you are speaking something, that's speech is instantly converted to text. If there is a particular text, the text is instantly converted to speech. So these are some applications coming under natural language processing. And when we talk about natural language processing, so this is the language which, I mean, if you talk about machine learning, so in order to make the machine understand a human language, we have to use this natural language processing tools. Okay, so if you see the sentiment analysis, I don't know how many of you are aware of this sentiment analysis. Okay, so let's say if people are talking positive about this particular person or people are talking negative about this particular person. Okay, let's say if you talk about Modi, or let's say if you talk about uh, Joe Biden, who is the president of America. So you can see, you can come in, you can see whether people are talking positive or people are talking negative about that particular person. That's nothing but the sentiment analysis, analyzing the sentiments of people. Okay, so that will be also coming under your natural language processing. Okay, so these are the few subsets of artificial intelligence. So precisely which the previous one is machine learning, what we discussed, supervised machine learning, unsupervised, reinforcement learning and deep learning, along with your reasoning, planning, and natural language processing, right? So yeah, coming to the data analytics versus data science versus big data. So this will be simple to understand. So when we talk about data, right, here the size of the data will be very less. Okay, let's say it will be in bytes or kilobytes, and here the complexity of the data will be nothing, and it will be as simple as that. It will be completely normal, and here you can analyze the data using basic methods of statistics. Okay, so that thing is nothing but your data analytics. So when we talk about data analytics, okay, so here the size of the data will be small and the complexity will be very negligible, and the analytics part will be done by using basic statistics. And if you talk about larger size of data, which is in megabits or gigabits, and if you talk about some complex data, and in order to understand or solve this data, you need statistics, you need computers, you need machine learning. Okay, so then you can call it as data science, right? And in the similar way, if you have huge data, huge in the sense extremely huge, the data cannot be stored in any of the hard drive. Let's say you cannot store it in a pen drive, or you cannot, it is not physically present in your hard disks of your laptops or systems. Okay, the data will be stored remotely in big data centers in cloud storages. Okay, and the complexity of the data is very high, and you cannot even, what we say, use basic statistics. You need statistics, you need multiple computers, you need machine learning. Okay, so using these terms, if you're trying to do the analytics part, that will be coming under your big data. Okay, but the one thing which is common in all these data analytics, data science, and big data is you are analyzing data using different tools, right? Okay, let me see if people are. So yeah, coming to this, yeah, data analytics, data science, and big data. So here you are analyzing data irrespective of the size, irrespective of the complexity. Okay, using different statistical methods, techniques, computers, or multiple computers and machine learning concepts. Okay, so this is the ultimate goal in this particular domain. So one of the interesting part of this particular webinar, which is your classical programming versus machine learning. I have already discussed this previously, but you can just watch it over here. So when you talk about classical programming, right? So we are giving rules and we are giving data to the machine, and then we are getting answers. Let's say if you want to add two numbers. Okay, so how addition is done? You have to give the formula a plus b. And what is the data? Let's say I am giving 5 and 7. So that's what my programming is done, right? So I am trying to add the data, which is 5 plus 7. And the rule is I have to add a plus b. And that's how I'll be getting the answers. So this is the traditional way of programming or classical programming, right? So in machine learning, here we will be giving data and we will be giving answers, right? So when you give data as well as answers, the machine will try to understand the rules between the data as well as the answers. Okay. So it will try to understand the rules based on the data and answers which we are giving. So here, when you talk about data, data is nothing but the data set. It might be an, sorry, it might be an Excel sheet, it might be an images, it might be videos, it might be anything. It might be structured or unstructured. We are giving data with respect to answers to a machine to learn, and it will try to understand the rules. Okay. And that's how the machine learns. And this process is called training. Okay, technically with respect to data science, if we speak. So when you are giving data and answers to a machine, and this process is called training the machine. Okay, and when the rules are being understood by the machine, we'll be moving further to that, which is, so now you have data and answers in the first step with respect to machine learning. Okay, the machine understood the rules. So now you have rules as well as data, right? So you give that to your classical programming, you will be getting your answers. So here rules will be coming to your classical programming part, okay, which you have to build, and you are passing your new data, okay, and then you are getting your new answers. So if you remember the example which I have told, right? So if you imagine, I have given two examples with respect to the kid and also with respect to the teacher. The kid, you are giving 100 different images of different animals. He will try to understand what exactly the animal is. And when you are giving a new animal picture, he will try to understand and he will easily try to figure it out which particular animal it is. In the similar way, if you talk with respect to the teacher's example, so here you are giving marks as well as results to the machine. The machine will find the rules, and then you are giving the rest of the students data, which is the marks. And now you will be getting the final results, whether the particular student has qualified the exam or not. Okay, so this is just what we say a loop. So the group, one of the interesting part of the webinar, which is your how a machine learns. So you might have heard about these things, or you might have, I know most of you learned this particular thing. So just go back to your, what we say, your school days. Okay. So let it be in your seventh, most probably, or sixth standard. So you might have given a graph paper, or you will be given your values on x-axis and y-axis, right? So you need to plot the graph using your x coordinates and y coordinates. I know most of you remember this particular thing. So you have to draw a slope for this, right? So now, So you might have remembered this y equal to mx plus c. So can anyone say what is this? I have seen most people from mathematical domain. So what is this y is equal to mx plus c? Slope. I mean technically, I mean, what do you call it? Equation of straight line. Yes, Himanshu. Yeah, equation of straight line, right? So yeah, most of you people are, I mean, very much knowledgeable, right? So you people have the idea of these basics. Yeah, fine. Yeah, equation of line y equal to mx plus c. Yeah. So this is what we say. What in what we So in general, if we say this is the base of data science, okay, so this is where everything lies between. I mean, the working principle of machine learning, the working principle of artificial intelligence. So not completely, but to the base model, if we talk about, so this is where everything lies on. So let's say using this equation of straight line, if I give you a new x value, can you find your y value? Yes. So just raise your hand. If I give you a new x value, can you easily find y value using this equation of straight line? Right. So yeah, right. So let's say if I have given a new value of x, so I can easily predict my y value, right? Sorry. Yeah. So the base model, if we talk about machine learning or artificial intelligence, okay, so this is where everything lies on based on this particular equation y equal to mx plus c. If you talk about the fundamental machine learning algorithm, which is linear regression, okay, which is used in every domain irrespective of the what is the industry. So linear regression is the first and the fundamental machine learning algorithm which is developed using this particular concept y equal to mx plus c. Okay, so yeah, this is where everything lies in machine learning and data science. So yeah, coming to the applications of data science, machine learning. Okay, so you might have used this Google Translator. So if you are giving some input in one language, you will be getting the output in other language. You can do the conversion of languages. Okay, so here is one of the interesting case study. So how many of you watch Netflix? Just raise your hands. I mean, I'm talking about House of Cards on Netflix. So how many of you know this particular case study? So House of Cards, it's purely based on data science. So can you believe it? It's completely based on data science, right? So if you remember this, House of Cards is just like what we say, it's a TV series, web series from Netflix, which was aired in United Kingdom. So when Netflix, I mean, these people approached Netflix, right? So without even listening to a single line of this particular story, House of Card, okay, Netflix was ready to invest $100 million in this particular, what we say, series without even knowing anything, because it's purely based on data science. So how exactly? Let's see here. As I said, so in the starting we discussed, right? So if you are getting recommendations based on your watch history, right? I guess you remember, based on your purchase history and watch history, you will be getting recommendations. In the similar way, Netflix is having different types of data centers, right? They just understood some insights based on the users. Okay. So House of Cards, which is aired in UK, and Kevin Spacey, and he's the producer, which is David. So what they understood from the data is that people are watching more and more shows in which Kevin Spacey the is having the prime role. Okay, and also the story related to this. Okay, So let's say, just imagine by analyzing the viewers data, think, let's say you have 30 million users and 30 million plays with 4 million ratings, 3 million searches. Okay, here the Netflix understood that the fans of the original House of Cards, which is aired in UK, were also watching movies which has been starred with Kevin Spacey and were directed by David Fincher. Okay, so this is what the insight which the Netflix has understood based on this, what we say, viewers data. Okay, so okay, this particular person and this particular director is having a huge, what we say, demand with our viewer base. Let's get on, what we say, let's get to a show using these people. Okay, and that's how they completely invested into this House of Cards. Okay, so this is just a basic, what we say, application in data science in real life. Apart from that, we also use data science in real life. I mean, how many of you remember uh, the 2016 US elections, how Donald Trump got the, I mean, Donald Trump became the US president? That's purely based on data science, completely till date. And even in 2019 elections, even in India, okay, we have, what we say, in 2019 elections, there were data science in Indian elections which were used. Okay, so if I talk about the drawbacks of this, right, you people will stop using your mobile phones and internets. So not just with respect to our country, in general I am talking about. Okay, so there is, so till now whatever we were discussing, right, these are all the, what we say, advantage, or we say positive parts of data science, but there are drawbacks of this particular data science, but which we cannot discuss it right now. But if I'm sure, if we discuss, right, you will be afraid to use your mobile phones and social media network and everything. Okay, so yeah, coming further with respect to more examples, world's largest news source, if we talk about Facebook, right, it, so we know Facebook doesn't employ any journalists. And if we talk about Uber, it doesn't own any cars. If we talk about Airbnb, okay, it doesn't have any hotels. Okay, so yeah, the interesting thing is that Facebook doesn't employ any journalists, but still we are getting news. And world's largest taxi provider, which is Uber, it doesn't have any cars, but still we are getting taxis within a snap. And in the similar way, if we talk about Airbnb, it doesn't own any hotels and accommodations, but still you can book anything. I mean, you can book everything on Airbnb, irrespective of the country, anywhere in the world, right? So everything is based on data science. Okay, and coming to the interesting part of this, the skills which are required in order to be in this particular field, the first thing is mathematical and statistical knowledge. Okay, so yeah, I'll be handling your doubts related to this skill set in the question and answer sessions. Okay, knowledge of machine learning algorithms, awareness of programming languages like Python and R. So either of the one, either Python or R, that's fine. And handling of larger data sets, domain knowledge, problem solving ability. I know you might have idea about all these terms except the domain knowledge. So let's give me a brief short about this domain knowledge. Let's say if you are working as a data scientist in a bank, right? So if you don't know how a bank operates, or what are the different problems the banking sector faces, or what kind of problems they face, or what kind of data a bank has, okay, you cannot solve the problems in that particular industry. If you are working in a finance sector, you have to know the idea about that particular finance sector. If you are working in with respect to edtech, educational technology, you have to understand how exactly it works. Then only you can understand and explore the data to solve the problems. Okay, so domain knowledge is nothing but you should have that particular industry, what we say, knowledge in order to work in that particular field. So it's not completely mandatory. Even if you join in that particular industry, you can try to explore slowly so that you can get completely perfect. Okay. So these are very few skills which are required in order to get into this particular field. Okay. So here we have a data science life cycle. If we talk about, let's say, if you're joining as a data scientist or a data analyst, so these are the steps which you will be following mostly. The first thing you can see the business understanding, which is nothing but the domain knowledge. So you have to understand your business in order to solve a problem, right? If even if we talk about with respect to your real life, so if you have any issue in your real life, if you don't know how it arises, you cannot solve it, right? In the similar way with respect to business also, if you have that particular domain knowledge, then only you can understand the data in order to solve the problems. Okay, and the second step is data mining, which is nothing but collecting data or scrapping data from different places. Data cleaning, where 80% of the time you people will be using your time. Okay, and data exploration, which is nothing but exploring your data, visualizing your data, and trying to understand your data. Okay, that's the crucial part. I mean, step 3 and step 4 are the crucial part of data science life cycle, where you will be spending nearly 80% of your time. Okay, and feature engineering is trying to understand what are the important features or parameters which you can use in order to solve the problem. Okay, and the sixth one is your predictive modeling, the basic machine learning models. You can see, let's say you have supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, or deep learning, or reinforcement learning. And the seventh one is data visualization. So data visualization, you can explore it both in the fourth step as well as in the seventh step. Okay, you can explore as per your requirement, but this is the basic life cycle of a data science. Okay, and there is the eighth step, which is nothing but your model deployment, which is completely technical, but the basic format of a data science life cycle looks in this particular manner. Yep. And yeah, if you talk about projects with respect to machine learning, you have to collect data, you have to train your model, and then you have to deploy your model. With respect to data science, you have to collect your data, you have to analyze the data, and you have to give suggestions for the changes or in order to solve the business problems. Okay, so if you talk about machine learning, it will be completely technical. And if you talk about data science, it will be analytical. I mean, I'm talking with respect to the job roles. And one of the important part of data science is that the different job roles which you can explore in this particular field. So these are the most, what we say, relevant one. But apart from these six, there are all other, what we say, job roles as well. Okay, you can be a machine learning engineer, you can be a researcher in machine learning, you can be a machine learning scientist, data scientist, data engineer, and product manager. Okay, so I know you people have many questions related to this particular job roles and this particular field. Okay, so let me just quickly get into this particular QA session. Okay, I know I may not answer all of your questions, but I'll try to give most of your, I'll try to answer most of your questions. Yeah, you can ask your questions in the chat. What is perfect examples of data? So when we talk about data, right, data is basically of two types, which is structured and unstructured. Structured data examples, which are the data which is stored in your Excel sheets, SQL databases and all. And unstructured data is nothing but your images, videos, audios, text. Okay, so Vedulapalli Gokul Sivakrishna, is CP is very important to be a data analyst. So what exactly you're talking about? What is CP? So yeah, one of the thing related to this data science is. Okay, so don't think that data science is only for people related to computer science and people related to IT, right? So data science is there. I mean, data science is present in each and every sector across the globe. If you are from a health industry, I mean, if you are from what we say, if you are from tourism sector, if you are from healthcare sector, if you are from e-commerce, if you are from edtech, if you are from automotive, automobile, tourism, you have banking and finance. You there are each and what we say, each and every domain has data, and each and every domain requires data scientists. It's not that you are from a mechanical background or you are from a b what we say healthcare, pharmacy sector. Okay, so there is data in each and every field. Okay, so there is data in each and every field irrespective of the domain, so you can get to that particular roles as per your own interest. Okay, so in even if you talk about electronics, even if you talk about electrical, so each and every domain has data, and data scientists are needed. So don't think that it is only for computer science and what we say in the IT's people. Okay, data science is everywhere, and even if you are from a mechanical background, you can work in automotive sector. You can work in Tesla as a data scientist. You can work in Hyundai as a data scientist. So it doesn't matter whether you are from a mechanical background or what we say, or from technical or non-technical background. Okay, so wherever there is data, you can easily get into it. So if we talk about the generic definition, so data science is a multidisciplinary field that uses the different technical methods. Okay, so multidisciplinary field in the sense it is used in each and every field. So yeah, logistic regression, it will be based on the sigmoid. If you are aware of the sigmoid, what we say, yeah, equation. So it is based on that. So which one is prepared for data analytics, statistical analysis system, or Python? So when we talk about SAS, right? And if you compare SAS and Python, so Python is having larger user base. Let's say most of the 70 to 80% of the industries accept SAS, sorry, Python, and SAS is only accepted to some particular industries. Okay, Python is open source because most of the people are, I mean, industries are using, but SAS is not free, right? So they are charging for their services. So very few people are using SAS. So Python will be the best. So yeah, different between supervised and unsupervised learning. So supervised learning is, let's say, if you are learning, or let's say if I give you a question bank which is having questions and answers, so that is supervised learning because you know the question, you know the answer, and you are learning. That is supervised. If you talk about unsupervised, you will be having only questions. You have to find the answers by yourself. That is unsupervised learning. So is data science used in astronomy? Yes. Sir, Python is a machine learning language. So Python, it is used in what we say, you can use Python in what we say web development, game development, data science, machine learning, AI, in the, what we say, internet of things, robotics. So Python is universal, you can use it in anywhere. So Python is a machine learning language, yes, because it's universal. Yeah, so yeah, coming to the interesting part of this session, what is most of you people, if you want to start, what do you say, if you want to start a career in this particular data science field is right. Okay, you have to first focus on Python. So you don't need to learn complete Python, but complete basics of Python is very much required. So along with Python, you should have understanding of MS Excel, Microsoft Excel. Okay, so if you are perfect in these two, then you have to shift for Python, what we say, packages. So you might have heard about NumPy, numerical Python, Pandas, which is used for data. I mean, in data science, it's a library in Python. You have data visualizations libraries in Python, which is Seaborn, okay, Matplotlib, okay, and you will also have different libraries for machine learning, which is scikit-learn, okay. So if you want to start a career in this particular field, you have to first learn Python, Excel, and SQL. Okay, SQL is, it's a database, right? So you have to learn MySQL. So if you learn these three along with one of the data visualization tool, which is either Tableau or BI, Power BI. Okay, so you can easily start your career in this particular field, irrespective of your domain. So don't think of the domain. So I am from mechanical background, I am from automotive, I am from electronics. So if you learn these tools, Python, Excel, SQL, and data visualization tool, you can start your career in this field. Okay, so irrespective of your domain. So where we use reinforcement analysis or reinforcement learning. So the self-driving cars, right? So Tesla has been using the self-driving car techniques, right? So it has been trained on the circuit which Tesla has prepared. So do you think in real life also Tesla will be facing, I mean, the car will be facing obstacles at the same distance or at the same time when that car is being trained? So in real life, it's not even possible, right? For the reinforcement learning. So that's where it will be learning in real time. Okay, so one suggest from my side is, so don't get tempted with these particular terms, artificial intelligence, machine learning and all. Okay, so even I have known people who have done interns. I mean, I have known people who have done certifications, who have done projects in artificial intelligence, AI. They have built their own Alexa and Siri by themselves, but they are not getting jobs. The thing is that you have to be strong in your fundamentals. So when we talk about fundamentals, are nothing but your Python, Excel, SQL, data visualization tool. Okay, so if you are perfect in these four, you can get into a field in data science as a data analyst or a junior data scientist. And then you can move further by learning machine learning concepts. Okay, you cannot directly move into deep learning or artificial intelligence. Okay, that's a strictly no, because you will be just wasting your money and time. Because if you are not clear with your fundamentals, okay, you cannot move further in your career. It doesn't matter what project you have done, because if you will be facing your, what we say, 99% of the questions from the basics of Python, SQL, Excel, okay, visualizations and all, along with some analytical questions. Okay, so they don't care what projects you have done. If your basics are not clear, right, so you will not get anything. So, and also most of the, I mean, across the country, if we see, so data science is one of the, it's like a business. Okay, so most of the courses are around 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, and more than that. Okay, so you people can pay and you can learn, but one of my suggestion is that if you don't have a mentor, okay, it will be difficult for you. You can learn by yourself using different open source tools and videos and all, but you should have a particular mentor so that he can guide you in a proper way. Sir, ECE courses is used to learn AI and robotics. Yes, in fact, I am from electronics and communication background, and I have experience in this particular robotics field and embedded systems. And yes, data science will be used over here as well. So duration of this class, yeah, we are already at the last. I am just answering your own questions. Is it true that AI engineer over 10 years of experience are paid whooping over 10 crores? Well, that depends actually. That depends on the company. So whether it's a product based company or a service based company. If it is a product based company, yes, they will pay. And if it's a service based company, it depends on which particular job role he is. So it's not like he's directly an AI engineer. He must be a head of that particular department or maybe something. Okay. Yeah. And I have one biggest sad news for you people. Okay, if you have access to Google, just search, or let me just show over here itself. Yeah. I guess you people can see my screen. Okay, I guess you can see this particular screen. So this is just 2 days ago. You can see 3 million jobs in Indian IT firms to be slashed by next year. So TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL, everything. So this is just, I'm talking with respect to our country. You can see this is the latest news. Okay, just 2 days ago, the big tech gains of our country. So they reported that they will be removing nearly 30% of the workforce. So here you can see the heading IT cost to slash 3 million jobs, 30% of low skill force by 2022. So, so here one prime suggestion is that if you think you are doing best in your academic part, you are getting 8 point CGP without any backlogs, 7 plus CGP, you are doing one or two projects. If you don't have the skills which are required by the industries, so nobody can help you get a job. Okay, so that's a fact. And this is the reason people with low skill force are being removed so that people who are what we say skilled with respect to the latest technologies, those people can be replaced by these particular people. So if you are students who are currently pursuing BTech second year, third year, fourth year, so within couple of weeks you will be passing out. And don't be just, I know most of you have watched the Family Man 2. So there is this dialogue, right? Don't be a minimum guy. I know you people might have remembered that. So don't be a minimum guy. So try to keep learning new technologies as per your requirement and interest and passion. Okay, you can't directly get into a job just by these particular academic scores. Okay, so yeah, in fact, you will be getting job in the first place. I mean, in the first interview in any IT, maybe you will work for 1 or 2 years, but it will not be long. So you have to improve your skills. You have to change yourself with respect to the requirements. So yeah, that's my suggestion. Mm, so now I'll be giving the session to Mr. Himanshu. Mm,
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sunil. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. So, guys, if you have any other questions, you can stay at the end and you can ask. Mr. Sunil will be there. So, Sunil, many students are personally messaging me. Would you like to answer that? Is it good for a graduate or undergraduate who is currently, doing engineering to go for data science? Like, is it going to help him out in future?
yes, absolutely. Because people, I mean, industries are particular awareness.
Your voice is breaking. Can you please repeat again? Your voice is breaking. No, your voice is breaking. Hello,
Hello.
Sunil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it audible?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, it will be useful. So you don't think that you are from a BBA background or you are from what we say MBA, BBA, or MTech, BTech, or maybe PhD. So if you are having these particular skills, industries will give you placement. That's for sure. And these things will helpful in the future as well. Okay. And I just showed you the IT industry, right? So they will be slashing 3 million people just because of they need people who are aware of the technologies which are right now in this particular world. So if you are not improving with respect to that particular technological requirements, so even if you work for free, they don't keep you in the company.
Okay, so thank you, Sunil. So guys, so we'll be discussing more about about the courses into data science and other courses like people are asking. So so let's not type thank you right now in the chat box. So many questions are being missed. Please stay for another hardly 10 minutes. We'll be taking it. So in end of the session, we'll be telling you about certificate and everything, right? If you have any other questions related to data science, you can ask it and end of the session. So guys, please don't type anything without questions in chat box. End of the session, I'll give a chance to give you a word of thanks to sir. Don't worry, don't type anything. If it is a question, you can type it. Okay, don't type anything else. Thank you. Well, so guys, as said by Mr. Sunil, that students are, I mean, the data science jobs are increasing every company. Like, the statistics said there are 60 to 70% of the companies today, they are running based on this data science. By doing this research, they are getting to know the behavior of the customer, the way they are, the purchase behavior, everything. And today, data is everything. Like, without having the analysis of this data, businesses are very tough to run. So today they are, companies are hiring lot of skilled people into data science. So this has something become something, the minimum requirement of a engineer or maybe any graduate. It's irrespective of if you are engineer, if you are non-engineer, it doesn't matter. If you have this skill, if you are strong in data science and machine learning, then you are probably definitely going to get a job for yourself. And this data science is there, as Mr. Sunil told, mechanical, automotive. If you talk about food industry, if you talk about the technology, any industry you take the name, there will be data science. So this is the beauty. So this is something like all-in-one course where you can go to all in all, like any if you have the skill, you can go to any field. Okay, so this is the beauty. Anyways, so guys, can we have a poll? How many of you are interested to join the data science courses? So can you raise your hand? So how many of you are interested to join the data science courses? Can you please raise your hand, anyone, if interested? Okay, go on. If you're planning to do the course in future or today or tomorrow, whenever, if you really felt after the end of the course session that okay, this is something I need to go for and this is going to help me, and you are planning to join this course, you are considering to join data science courses. Okay, great. Mhm. Fine, great, thank you. So guys, so now is the courses are available. There are a lot of courses available into data science right now if you find it online. But the major problem of this is the prices. If you talk about, if you see the prices of the data science courses available currently, they are quite in the high side. And I was talking to Mr. Sunil today. He said minimum prices are somewhere around starting from at least 20,000 onwards. It's quite costly. It's not that cheap. But as Skynet is always famous to make the prices very affordable and introduce courses that is that is most affordable, and to make it possible for every student to join these courses. So here also we have started our data science courses, guys. I'll be telling more about those courses that we have started. It can help to the people who are interested to join the data science courses. So guys, are you ready? I'll be telling about the courses that Skynet has introduced into data science. So guys, quickly, I've set my screen. You can go to skyrider.com. Then simply you can go to this online certification course. When you click this online certification course, there are different branches available. So these are the branches where we are offering our training, our courses. So here you can see data science. At the end, you can see a course called data science. So when you click on that, so guys, you get two courses. So we have started two courses for data science, that is 2 weeks of program and 4 weeks of program. So basically these two programs are designed for everyone. Like we'll be teaching from very basics, completely basics will be taught you. If you have no knowledge, absolutely no knowledge about this, so you can join. Like 4 weeks program is one of the best program where you will be getting more time to interact with the trainer. I mean, you need to have basics idea about the programming to join the 4 weeks, but for the 2 weeks it's a completely fundamental, and you don't have to have any basic prerequisite to join this 2 weeks of program. But for 4 weeks, maybe you need to have some programming knowledge. So you can join any of the courses. If you happen to be a programming guy, then probably you should be joining this 4 weeks. And if you are a normal guy, you don't have get great knowledge into this programming, then you should be joining these 2 weeks. Later, you can plan to join the 4 weeks program. So 2 weeks I can tell as a basics. 4 weeks is little bit of advanced, where you'll be spending more time into this programming. You'll be doing a lot of projects, but in 2 weeks you'll be learning the fundamentals of the data science, fundamentals of the programming, and you'll be doing projects there as well. So I'll be just explaining about this 2 weeks program. So guys, the base starts from 28th of June, and if you see the course details here, the course details contains all these things: the data science, programming of basics, Python fundamental, advanced Python concepts, Python package, data visualization, statistic for data science, introduction to machine learning, supervised machine learning model 1, model 2, unsupervised machine learning models, and advanced machine learning. At the end of the training, you will be doing a project. So these are all the content of the course content for the 2 weeks program. The base starts from 28th of June. So and if you talk about the 4 weeks program, again the base starts from 1st of July, and the batches I'll tell about the timings as well. Let me finish about the course. Yeah. So these are all the courses where it's fundamental programming basics. Python is included. Advanced Python is included. Again, Python packages. Then data visualization, advanced data visualization, statistics for data science, explanatory data analysis, introduction to machine learning, linear regression and machine learning, logistic regression, and all these courses. Kind of into deep into this programming and data science. So these 4 weeks will be, you need to have bit knowledge about programming to join these courses, and the 2 weeks absolutely basics for everyone. Anyone like to join, they can join. So as said, data science is the future. Any industry you take the name, there is a requirement of data science, and you should be, as an engineer or maybe a graduate, you should be going for these courses. Guys, I have a great news for everyone. If you are joining to Skyradar for the first time, or all the participants of today's workshop, so the prices, as I told, the minimum prices of the data science courses starts from 10,000, 15,000 onwards. But as promised, Skyradar is always there to support students financially. We have launched this course in just 2,699, 2 weeks program, and the 4 weeks program is launched just 3,499. So again, I'll tell you, this is the most affordable course available in India in data science. And the best part, whole the session is live, completely live session. There is nothing recorded. It's completely live sessions, and after the end of this live sessions, you will be given the recordings to you, so you can refer it for another 2 months. Okay, so this benefit you'll be getting, guys. So absolutely, with this prices, live classes are completely very rare. Now for today's participant, we have given offer, actually an offer for everyone. Guys, simply type data 30. There's a coupon code data 30, DATA 30. So straightway you'll get a 500 rupees off on today itself. So this offer values for today. When you click on this, you'll just get these prices in 2099. And same ways, if you are into this 4 weeks, if you want to go for these courses, simply you type DATA 30. You get a coupon code of again 500 rupees. So 500 each. So the effective prices will be 2,999, just 3,000 rupees. 3,000 rupees for a 4 weeks of program, having multiple projects. I don't think this is a big prices again, and having 2,100 rupees with this 2 weeks of program, spending time with our experts, is of course is one of the cheapest. And let me tell you guys, this courses you will be having one-to-one interaction with the trainers. You'll be interacting with the experts. Anything that you want, any internship, any project, anything after the course also you want, that handholding guidance will be provided. Mr. Sunil will be one of the trainers. There are guest trainers also. They'll be coming in and they'll be sharing their experiences. Okay, let me go to the chat box. There are a lot of questions popping in. Let's see what is that. Yeah. I know you are waiting for the feedback form, but guys, as I told, this is something we need to share about the information to the students who are interested about the course, because the main motive is to provide you a basics about data science, also about the courses that we are offering, because this one day course and the certificate, that is not going to help you getting a job even, because in one day you won't be learning a lot of things. You may learn the basics, but when someone is interested to get into a job, then they need to spend more time with that. So this course will help them. So I believe this is our responsibility to let them understand about this. So Mr. Siddhant have already said the details about the course. You can go and quickly check the link, guys. If you are planning to join, then it's the right time to join because you are getting 500 rupee discount today. Please go and join this course. Guys, if you have any doubt about this course, you can quickly ask. Mr. Sunil is there. He can also help you out, and our team can also help you. Someone was asking about mechatronics courses. I just saw. So if you are into electrical, electronics, other engineering, so you can simply go and click on the electrical courses. So here, industrial automation, mechatronics, electric vehicle, these courses are available, guys. You can go and join these courses. If you are a mechanical student, so you can go and check out these courses. We are starting our CNC courses. Is the orientation started today? Tomorrow the class is starting for CNC, for TVS, for 3 months program, 3 months of electric vehicle and advanced automotive systems. All these courses are also starting from tomorrow. You can go and join these courses if you are an engineer, basically mechanical and other engineering. If you are into electrical and electronics, you can go and check out these courses. Industrial automation, mechatronics, electric vehicle, these courses are available. Again, the prices are very cheap. We are giving up to 50% discount on all our courses. You can go and check out those courses. And here you can chat with the expert. You can click on this and you will be probably, if you are in a group, you will be getting some group discounts. So guys, as here also, if you are in a group to you are planning to join in a group, then there is a group discount facility. So you'll be getting 10% more discount on the discounted price. So here you can click and get the link about that discount. But again, you need to be in a group of at least 5 students. Okay. Yeah, LOR. Deborah is asking about the LOR. No, LOR will be given from Skyrad only. If you are joining, yeah, guys, another more beautiful information. If you are joining any of our courses, so you can apply for LOR. You can apply. Like our team will be calling you to judge like if you are eligible to join this. I mean, to get LOR or not. So we'll be giving you this LOR based on your expertise or maybe based on your leadership quality. So you will be given the LOR. Loka is asking, Loka, you can, the coupon code is valid for today only. We'll be stopping the coupon code after today. So if you want, you can get in touch with our team and you can use this coupon code. As I told, data 20, data 30, you can use it today itself because it won't be there. Sorry, data 30. Because this coupon code will be removing because the prices, launch prices are very less, as I told. With this price, it's practically impossible to provide, live sessions. So the prices that we have already launched, the regular price is 6900, but again we have reduced it to make it 2599 to help our student. But for today's webinar only, we are giving this offer to use this coupon that 30. Okay, just for today's webinar participant, and this is not for everyone. So it will be valid for today itself. Okay, guys, quickly, if you have any doubt, you can type in the chat box. Guys, again, if you are willing to join any kind of courses, you can keep on joining at skyrad.com and you can go to the online courses. There you will finding all this section, so you can join these courses. Guys, it's already I have told many times when we meet, this is high time to become skilled. Today, companies are not hiring. After this pandemic scenario is completely changed, the companies are looking for only pre-skilled candidates who are graduates but having skill. Without having skill, you are not even called to sit in the interview. So if you are sending a resume to a company and the resume is completely blank and you are expecting that you will get a call, practically you won't be getting any calls. Your resume should be filled with courses, should be filled with areas of expertise, with some expertise or maybe some projects or maybe some paper presentation, anything. You cannot expect a call even without having any skills. So today companies are not hiring much. If they are at all hiring, they are hiring only the pre-skilled candidates. So if you graduate from your college with this online degrees, if you graduate from your colleges without doing real study, exams are, all of us know how you are appearing exams and all. Companies also know that people are not serious at all. So that is not going to help you anywhere, guys. It's like Skyrad is working with more than 30 companies. We have got feedback from companies that students are they graduate in 2020 and today are going to face a lot of difficulty in getting jobs just because they are not skilled enough. They are not getting to do their major projects. They are not getting to do the minor project. Nothing they are getting to do. So guys, this is high time to go for online courses. Do those courses. Get in touch with the experts. Talk to them. If you are into getting into higher studies to different countries like USA, German, you should be working on developing your skill right from your college. You don't have to wait till the college ends. GRE, TOEFL, GMAT, these exams are IELTS exams simply are 20-30% of weightage in getting into top university. Majorly, you should be working on your profile to get into a top university. And how you make a profile? by doing these skill courses, getting internship, getting projects, all these things. So guys, when you are joining to Skyrata, you will be not just doing an internship, also you'll be doing multiple projects along with the courses. Like similarly in data science courses, when you'll be joining, you'll be doing multiple projects. You'll be getting to work with our experts. So they'll be helping you out doing those projects. You can prepare a project report and that you can submit it to any company you are applying for, or maybe a higher study. So this benefit will be given. Also, you'll be getting LOR, letter of recommendation, to apply for a job or maybe for a higher study. So this benefit you'll be getting from Skyrata. Anyways, Mr. Siddhan, can you do needful for the workshop, please?
Sir, it's done.
Okay, great. Well, guys, coming back to now, everyone is waiting for the certificate. So guys, again, go to skyrata.com. Simply go and go to the free workshop section. Their upcoming workshop, there is something called free completed workshop. Okay. There you can see data science course already is complete. I mean, it started at 5, so it's 2 hours. So already is exactly it's 2 hours is completed. So go here and you can get something called get certificate here. Okay. You can go and apply here and you can get the certificate. Siddhan, can you please explain?
Yes, sir. Okay, so the students, yeah, thank you, sir. I'll share up my screen. Okay, is my screen visible, all of you? Okay, thank you, thank you. I hope it's visible to all of you. Yeah. Now it's visible. Fine. So this is our portal, Skyrata.com. So it's a simple way to generate your certificate. What you have to just do is you have to go to Skyrata.com, click on free workshop. Okay, there will be two options coming up, like upcoming free course workshop and completed free workshop. So as this webinar has already been completed and we are moving towards the end, so you can directly click on to completed workshop and you can find the name of the workshop that you have attended today, that is data science for the beginners. You have to just click on view details and the option called as get certificate. So once you click it on, it will ask to validate your data. You can click it on, you can put down your number and your email ID that you have already put during your registration process. So once it is confirmed, then you will be redirected to a feedback form. So you have to fill the feedback form and you can, from that point, you can generate your certificate after 3 hours. Like now you are filling up the feedback form, you have to wait for 2 to 3 hours. After that, you can download your certificates. Okay. So this is the procedure. Okay. Simply, you have to just go to Skyrata.com and the workshop portal. There you can follow the procedure that I've told you one by one. You can, you can download it tomorrow, no issue. You fill the feedback form and you can download the certificates tomorrow. That's not an issue. Okay, so if you have any doubts regarding this certification courses and any of the details regarding, you can drop down the questions. You can drop down the questions.
Guys, if you have anything to ask about courses or stuff, if you are in other courses, then you can join. You can ask your questions. Mr. Siddhan is a professional career counselor. He can help you out joining the right course for yourself. Also, if you want to join, then any course you can ask us right here. Is LOR given to you will help in the placement 100%. It will help 100%. Will help you. So many students are even using this LOR for jobs. Siddhant, can you repeat again? Probably they want to know more. Can you repeat again?
Yes, sir, sure. Yeah, the very fine thing, you have to go to skyrider.com. There, the free workshop portal, you have to click it on. After clicking on, there will be two options opening in front of you. That is, one is completed free workshop and upcoming free workshop. As the today's workshop has already been completed, so you can click on that and you can directly go to the respective workshop that you have attended. Data science for the beginners is it was today's session, so you can click it on view details, and towards below you can find the option called as get certificate. Okay, so get certificate, there you can put down your registered mobile number and email ID. Okay, you need to validate that, and you can directly fill the feedback form, and after filling the feedback form it will take 3 to 4 hours. Approximately it's 3 hours. After 3 hours you can download your certificates. Okay, I think you all are a technical guy. You can follow the rules. I don't need to explain that one by one. Okay, so KP, it's showing you didn't attend the classes. Okay, KP. KP, if any problem is arising regarding that you haven't attended the class, or you haven't, your data is not validating, you can drop down an email to info@skyrider.com. Okay, just a sec. I just give you a option for that, and directly put down that there.
Okay, guys, if you have understood the process and you don't have any doubt, you can leave the session. But guys, if you want to know more about our courses and anything about the coupon code or anything, you can ask us still. And anyone interested to join the data science courses, you can immediately join it. So we'll be sharing the details, and you can use the coupon code data30 to join those courses. I have shared you the link, guys. You can check this one. And Loka, actually this prices what we've given is with a lot of discount, so it will be valid for today, because till tomorrow then other people can join. So it is exclusively for the students who are attending this webinar. That's why we are given this offer till today. Okay, guys, if you don't have any doubt about the courses, please feel free to ask us. If you have any doubt about the courses, please feel free to ask. If not, then you can leave the session right now. And thank you for joining the workshop, and keep joining to Skyrider. Follow our Instagram page and LinkedIn page to get updates about our courses. Also follow our Telegram page, where we'll be updating about all the courses, free courses. Please join. Okay. Okay, Devadatt will be taking your suggestion. Thank you.
I think there is no more queries. So if anyone is having any more queries, you can drop it down now. I don't think, Pravina, I need to tell where is the feedback form now once again.
Saurav, you simple is a common sense. If you're undergraduate, you're going to graduate someday. So put that year, the year that you are going to graduate. Okay, Mr. Siddhant, we can finish the session. I don't think they have any doubt. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you for joining this workshop. Hope to see you in our data science courses. And let's take a leave. Have a great evening. And stay safe and stay sound. Keep joining to SkyRadar. Stay connected to us. Thank you very much for attending this workshop. Have a great day. Bye. Sunny is asking any courses for civil engineering. Sunny, you can check out in our website. There is a course on civil engineering.
Okay, thank you, guys.